For others, surviving in the wild is a fight for their lives. For me, it's just heading home. While other castaways on the island gnawed on tree bark, I already found food and water like I'd unlocked a cheat code. I casually saved a few stranded campus beauties. They thought I was a deadbeat student, but they had no idea I carried a survival manual in my mind. With a single touch, I could identify anything. In this primordial jungle, I am the rule. I am a god. Slosh, slosh, the waves kept lapping in my pants. The sun was so harsh it felt like it was roasting me alive. I forced my eyes open, my eyelids filled with a crimson glow. In the distance, blue skies and white clouds stretched endlessly over the vast sea. Up close, the golden sand was scorching hot, the heat rippling and distorting the air. Behind me stood an impenetrable primeval forest. I struggled to my feet, stumbled over to a broad-leaf plant, and collapsed into its meager shade. Who am I? Where is this? The last images in my mind flickered back like fragments. A crash, screams, a gaping hole in the cabin, the roar of wind. I remember now. I was representing my school in an international academic summer camp. A few girls from my class, and I missed the charter flight, so we bought tickets for the next one. Luckily, we got upgraded. Unluckily, the plane crashed. I forced a bitter smile. I could barely survive myself. How could I care about others? Just then, a loud ding exploded in my mind. Congratulations, host. You have obtained a check-in system. 1. Survival manual. Provide survival advice at specific times. 2. Power of identification. Touch an object and meditate to obtain relevant information. 3. Poison resistance. Immune to natural toxins. Daily check-in randomly enhances one ability. Then, a 5-dimensional attribute panel appeared before me. Strength, stamina, constitution, agility, focus. Check-in system. How do I check in? Can I check in for supplies? The system didn't explain a single word, but at least with it around, I wouldn't feel so lonely. My lips were cracked, and my throat was parched with thirst. This damn place didn't even have a single coconut tree. Even if there were, I didn't have the strength to crack it open now. I tried to meditate and seek help from the survival manual. The pages in my mind flipped on their own, stopping on a line. Drifting abandoned bottles, some still have residual fresh water inside. Fresh water. I trudged under the scorching sun toward the direction the system indicated. It was just over 100 meters away, but it took me a full 5 minutes to get there, feeling like I had run a marathon. Finally, behind a few rocks, I found some stranded bottles. I shook each one. 2 of them had water inside. I couldn't wait to twist open the first one and took a lick. Ugh, seawater. Good thing I didn't chug it, or I'd have been salted to death. I opened the second bottle, sniffed at no smell. I cautiously took a sip. It was clear and sweet. At that moment, I felt like I had entered heaven. There was about 150 milliliters left in the bottle. Hell, even if it were 1,500 milliliters, I could have downed it all in one go. But I told myself fiercely, if I want to survive, I must restrain myself. I only drank a third, paused for a while, and finally my energy recovered a bit. Just then, I spotted something lying on the distant beach. Squinting, I saw it was a person. My heart sank. I stuffed the water bottle into my pocket and walked over. As I got closer, a khaki vest, a plaid skirt, black knee-high socks, brown leather shoes, and a crystal kitty cat hair clip on her deep chestnut princess hair, my heart sank to the bottom. Lin Chanchian, the school beauty of our class, gentle and introverted, a good friend of mine. No, she couldn't be dead, could she? I suppressed the pain and turned her over. A dirty, pretty face was stuck with seaweed, pale as death, yet still heartbreakingly beautiful. The moment my fingers touched her cheek, information flashed in my mind. Lin Chanchian, female, vital signs weak. It is recommended to immediately use the ABCD assessment method for rescue. She has a pulse, she's alive. Overjoyed, I tucked away the remaining water, picked her up, and ran toward the shade of a tree. Having regained some strength, carrying a girl weighing about 80 or 90 pounds was no problem. I laid her flat in a cool spot, unbuttoned her collar to let her cool down, tilted her head back to open her airway, and began mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Lin Chanchian's lips were soft, with a faint sweetness, but in the emergency, I didn't have time to think about anything else. 30 chest compressions, 2 rescue breaths, repeated in cycles. Just after finishing the third round, there was finally a response from her throat. She started breathing on her own. Just then, another sound rang in my mind. Ding. Congratulations, host, on completing today's check-in. Physique plus sain. In an instant, my body felt fully charged, even more energized than before. I was overjoyed and about to continue when I heard exclamations from behind. Luja! Chanchian! Look up! Not far away stood two disheveled girls. One wore a dirty white tennis outfit with a high ponytail. It was the class monitor, Ning Shu. The other had a torn little dress and a face smudged like a little kitten. It was Tang Xiaohua. Tang Xiaohua rushed over and shouted, Luja, you molesting Chanchian. What the hell? I was stunned. Molest? Ning Shu sighed. Better explain yourself. I looked down. Lin Chanchian's collar was wide open, revealing her pink bra. Explain my ass, she wasn't breathing. I was giving her CPR. The two quickly gathered around. By now, although Lin Chanchian's face was pale, her breathing had stabilized, and she was mumbling incoherently. I carefully poured the remaining water into her mouth. She coughed a couple of times, and her breathing became stronger. Ning Shu's look at me changed. So, we misunderstood you. Nonsense, Tang Xiaohua muttered with a red face. Sorry, Luja. I thought you were taking advantage of her when she was vulnerable. Boar, is that how you see your brother? You never had a good image anyway. Ning Shu cut us off. All right, stop dwelling on this. Let's check on Chanchian. The three of us kept watch for a while. Lin Chanchian's breathing became more and more steady, and we finally felt relieved. Ning Shu told us about their experience. She was woken up by Tang Xiaohua's cries for help and landed on a broadleaf tree, which saved her life. Tang Xiaohua was even luckier. She got stuck in a tree and was rescued, but lost her shoes. The two of them thought rescue teams would come soon, so they headed toward the beach and ran into us. I also told them how I found Lin Chanchian. Then I asked, did you see Jiang Yao? Both shook their heads. I then asked if they had any water. Ning Shu dumped everything out of her backpack. I nearly fainted when I saw it. A book titled Mastering Your Husband, a novel, a jar of Vaseline hand cream, a bundle of hair ties, a pencil case, a diary, 2 packs of tissues, a set of keys, a whistle, and an unopened pack of sanitary pads. As for food, a tin of xylitol gum, 5 bags of way-long spicy strips. Why did you bring spicy strips? They won't let you take chili sauce on the plane. I was afraid I wouldn't like the airplane food. I was speechless. The only large water bottle had just 2 drops left. Ning susruket. There was more before. Gwr, and I split it and drank it all. I took a deep breath. Everyone checked for their phones. We all searched our pockets. My phone was gone. Tang Xiaohua's was gone too. Lin Chanchian pulled out her iPhone. Water was dripping from the charging port. Totally dead. Ning Shu smugly waved her own phone. When it counts, you still need your class monitor. As she spoke, a nightmare alert popped up on the screen for every phone user. Battery low. Phone will shut down in 30 seconds. I grabbed it, unlocked it, and dialed 110. Just as I finished pressing the 3 digits, the screen suddenly went black. You got to be kidding me, the 4 of us said in unison. Taking a moment to calm down, Ning Shu asked, what do we do now? We can't just sit and wait for the rescue team to arrive. First priority, find fresh water. People can survive over 20 days without food as long as they drink water, but without water, they'll be done for in a few days. I led everyone along the beach to pick up bottles. We found 2 plastic bags, 11 clean plastic bottles, and also spotted a Nongfu spring bottle and a Mizone bottle. The presence of domestic drink bottles suggests this island might not be too far from our country, but all the bottles were empty. Lin Chanchian was running out of energy and almost gave up when she suddenly pointed ahead and said, over there, there's something black lying on the beach. Yao Yao. Ning Shu squinted to look and exclaimed. I rushed over first. White casual outfit, denim skirt, lace-edged princess socks. It was Jiang Yao. She's my childhood sweetheart. We grew up together. But she was in terrible condition, completely exposed to the scorching sun, burning hot, severely dehydrated. I picked her up and ran back. Take off her coat. We need to cool her down, I told Ning Shu. Seawater evaporates and absorbs heat. Its temperature is lower than air. We can use seawater instead of cool water to apply to her forehead. What should I use to apply? Who brought a towel? I looked at Lin Chanchian's knee-high socks. The socks quick. Lin Chanchian blushed and took off her socks. I ran to the seaside, soaked them in seawater, wrung them half dry, folded them into a square, and placed it on Jiang Yao's forehead. Tang Xiaohua picked leaves to fan her. while Lin Qianqian rubbed her palms and soles. Jiang Yao's temperature finally showed signs of dropping. Her lips moved slightly, and a hoarse word squeezed out of her throat. Water. What to do? All the fresh water was gone. I checked the survival manual again. The method it suggested was hard to look at. I lifted my head and glanced at Ning Shu and Tang Xiaogua. Ning Shu felt uneasy under my gaze. What are you doing? I handed her my Dong bottle. Go, get some water. If there were water, I wouldn't need weight, you don't mean. At times like this, life is more important than anything. Don't ask questions, just be brave and do it. Ning Shu gritted her teeth, pulling Tang Xiaogua behind a tree. It's an emergency, a makeshift plan. Remember, if Yao Yao asks, say it's water from a seaside mud pit. I said with a straight face, isn't that the truth? A few minutes later, Ning Shu handed over a full bottle. I carefully fed a third of it to Jiang Yao. She showed signs of rejection, with liquid spilling from the corners of her mouth, but at least she managed to swallow some. After replenishing fluids and resting in the shade for a while, Jiang Yao's condition improved significantly, and her breathing became much calmer. Lin Qianqian weakly asked, Can I have some? I handed the bottle over. She struggled to drink half, then handed it back to me. Luja, she said, would you like some? I can hold on. You two drink. Next, let everyone check their own supplies. The pile of things in Ning Shu's bag. Pen and notebook to record tide times. Draw maps. Make message bottles. A whistle can be used as a close-range communication tool. The nail clippers on the keychain are an unexpected bonus. The spicy and salty snack strips will make you thirstier. Absolutely cannot touch them right now. Lin Qianqian pulled out a waterlogged phone and a card holder. 11 plastic cards. A few coins. The cards can be used to scrape off salt stains on the body. As for the coins, I haven't figured out what to do with them yet. Tang Xiaohua took off her Givenchy necklace, earrings, and she was also wearing a Longines watch on her wrist. It's still ticking. This is an important resource. I rummaged through all my pockets and only pulled out a dead hermit crab. No idea when it crawled in there. Luckily, I have a Casio mechanical watch on my wrist. It can not only tell the time, but also keep track of the date and set alarms. Jiang Yao, aside from her waterlogged phone, has nothing else. This is all we have. No lighter, no knife. No gift pack, just a backpack full of useless stuff. Next, we'll have to rely on these to survive on the island until the rescue team arrives. I looked at everyone and started assigning tasks. Pick broad leaves to spread on the ground as mats. Boar uses plastic bags to scoop seawater to cool Yao Yao down. Qianqian, you're weak. Get plenty of rest. If you have energy, wipe Yao Yao's face and fan her cool. The four of us got busy. Laid out the leaf mats. Arranged the seawater bottles for cooling. It actually looked like a crude but cozy shelter. The sun's too harsh, perfect to use it. I picked 3 small mouthed bottles, filled them halfway with seawater, and buried them in the scorching sand. Then I bent the big mouthed bottles, fitted them over, and secured them with branches. The heat from the sand plus direct sunlight. The water evaporates and condenses at the bottom of the big bottle. That yields drinkable fresh water. Too bad only 3 can be used. No knife to cut more bottles. Otherwise, I can make a whole row of distillers. While waiting for the distilled water to trickle out, I stood up and looked around. I spotted a palm tree. It didn't have any coconuts hanging from it, but the palm tree itself was a source of water. I used the tip of Lin Qianqian's key to drill a hole in the trunk. It took 20 minutes, and the palm of my hand was red and sore from the effort. Finally, I managed to make a small hole. I took apart a pen from my pencil case, removed the tip and ink tube, then screwed the hollow barrel in as a drip tube. Below it, I used leaves and a stone to fashion a simple catch basin. At first, only 1 drop fell every 30 seconds. So slow it made me doubt myself. But after a while, the pace quickened to a drop every 3 seconds. Tang Xia Google not that. Not bad, kid. Ning Su Si Kit. At this rate, we'll have a bottle cap's worth by tomorrow morning. But evaporation might be faster than accumulation. An extra mouthful of water might mean an extra life saved. The girls sat in the shade of the trees, weaving headbands from twigs and leaves. Both shade and something to do. Tang Xiaohua handed me one. It's actually well made. I took it and put it on, mulling over the next steps in my mind. If the rescue team arrives within 24 hours, we might just make it through. But what if they don't? I have to prepare for the worst. The distiller produces water too slowly. Palm sap is just a drop in the bucket. Relying on these to hold out until rescue is far from enough. We must find a more sustainable water source. And food. Without these two, we can never truly shake off the threat of death. Lin Qianqian and Jiang Yao are still weak. Ning Shu and Tang Xiaohua have limited stamina. They can help, but it's far from enough for real wilderness survival. Looking out, the beach ends in an endless dense forest. What lies within? There might be streams, wild fruits, things to stave off hunger, or it could hide unknown dangers. But for now, waiting is not an option. I stood up and tucked the water bottle away. Turning back, I said to the girls, "Take good care of Jiang Yao. Watch the distiller. I'm going to take a look around the woods." Tang Xiaohua stood up immediately. "You alone? Too many people would slow things down. You all stay here and keep watch." Ning Shu looked at me, hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Be careful." I clenched my sore palms and stepped toward the dark forest. I decided to take the risk and search the woods. Only if we can find a sustainable source of water and food can we truly escape the threat of death. Having made his decision, Lu Zhi stood up. "You three stay here and guard Jiang Yao. I'm going to take a walk in the woods to see if I can find more fresh water and food." Ning Shu looked worried. "No, it's too dangerous. You can't go alone." Lu Zhi said, "Too many people would be inconvenient. I won't go too far. If anything happens, you can blow the whistle." "That won't work either." Ning Shu stood up. He said firmly, "The five of us finally got together after all that effort. Now you want to go into the woods alone. If something happens, how would we explain to your parents? But if we don't go, we might all die here." Tang Xiaohua also said anxiously, "Even if you're a bit unreliable, you're still our classmate. I won't let you take the risk alone. If you insist on going, I'll reluctantly accompany you." Lu Zhi said disdainfully, "Tang Xiaohua, who are you calling unreliable?" Tang Xiaohua sheepishly stuck out her tongue. "If someone has to go, let Lu Zhi and me go." Ning Shu stood up. "Boar, you've already lost one shoe. You experienced walking in the woods just now, right?" Tang Xiaohua recalled the embarrassing scene of having one foot bare and the other in a high-heeled sandal, stumbling along. She nodded helplessly. "You stay at the camp. Take care of Qianqian and Yao Yao. If something dangerous happens, just blow the whistle. We won't go too far." Ning Shu seemed to have made up her mind. Tang Xiaohua nodded reluctantly. "Well, you two be careful." Lu Zhi also thought that having a mature girl like Ning Shu accompany them might be helpful for some things. So he nodded and said, "All right, then let's set off now. Where do we go in?" Lu Zhi looked around. He pointed to a relatively flat area in the southwest. "It's easier to enter the woods from here. Our main search targets are small rivers, streams, berries, or root vegetables." Ning Shu frowned. "Rodents? It's not rats, is it?" "It's the shu from sweet potatoes and cassava. Of course. Catching rats would be even better. That would be a good source of protein." Ning Shu shuddered with disgust. "Ugh, I hate mice the most." "It's okay. You can call me when that happens. I'll deal with it." "You said so." Lu Zhi and Ning Shu put on the simple woven headbands they had just made to block out the scorching sun. They picked up 2 empty bottles in a plastic bag and headed into the jungle. The terrain in the jungle was a bit high. It was overgrown with weeds and full of uneven pits. Walking in such a place consumed a lot of energy. They searched through the grass for a while. Lu Zhi noticed that Ning Shu was starting to struggle to walk. "Class monitor, want to take a break?" Ning Shu panted while holding her knees with both hands. She nodded. "I just haven't exercised much lately." "It's okay. I was thinking of taking a break too." Ning Shu hesitated. "What's wrong?" "I drank water earlier." She felt she shouldn't say this, but to be honest, I'm a bit thirsty. She wiped the sweat off her forehead. Lu Zhi knew that over 2 hours had passed since they met. Washing towels again, cooling down Jiang Yao, and setting up the camp. Ning Shu and Tang Xiaohua had been busy all along, even though they had drunk plenty of fresh water earlier. As they walked with increased sweating, the fluid levels in their bodies began to drop. Lu Zhi handed her a bottle of sports drink. He gestured, "Is there any left?" Ning Shu knew what Lu Zhi meant. Blushing, she said irritably, "No, it seems. Most of it has already been sweated out. Otherwise, how about I take you back to camp?" Ning Shu shook her head. "It's fine. I can still hold on. It's just that my throat feels like it's on fire. Maybe I'll feel better after resting a bit. Then sit here for a while. I'll just take a look around nearby." "Hey, don't wander too far. I'll I'll stay within 20 meters. In your line of sight. Call me if I go too far. Okay. Luja began searching nearby. Looked around, but didn't find anything. Came to a clump of bushes. He found something. Pushed aside the wild grass. Underneath was a small patch of damp soil. This area was relatively low-lying. Luja guessed it was rainwater that had accumulated here when it rained. And because the obstruction in front was too dense, evaporation was delayed. He dipped his finger in it, rubbed it, then tasted it with his tongue. No salty taste, meaning the water in the mud was fresh water. Captain, come take a look. Found something good. Ning Shu curiously leaned in. Luja brought the wet soil on his finger to her nose. Ning Su Fronet. What's this? Wet soil, and the water in it is fresh water. Don't tell me this stuff is drinkable. Maybe after filtering it. Filter it with what? We don't have filter paper or a measuring cup. No, but we can use a cotton sock to wrap the soil and squeeze it to filter. Ning Shu looked at Luja with shock. Luja, how did you come up with such a twisted method? Luja said seriously. Bear Grylls used his socks to filter muddy water for fresh water in Arizona. If you want to survive, you can't care too much about those things. All right, now here comes the problem. Yours or mine? Luja's method made Ning Shu feel a bit uncomfortable. I said, Luja, it's not like I've never seen a wilderness survival show. Didn't you say that water from the soil can't be drunk directly? There are microorganisms inside. Drinking it carelessly could give you parasites. You're right, Luja nodded. But remember one thing. You only get to be infected if you survive. Now we haven't found a source of fresh water, nor was there any condition for boiling it. To survive, you have to resort to temporary measures. Ning Shu pulled a long face. Does it have to be this way? Getting infected is also a matter of probability. But if we don't drink water, we're sure to die of thirst. As he spoke, Luja took off his shoes and socks. My socks were soaked by the seawater. Not really suitable for filtering. What about yours? Ning Shu was both annoyed and embarrassed. I said, Luja, why do you always come up with such extreme ideas? That last thing was bad enough. Can you even drink water filtered through socks? Of course, Luja put his own socks back on. Don't forget, it was that last outrageous thing that started helping Yao Yao's body functions recover. If Yao Yao is lucky enough to survive, you'll be her lifesaver. Don't bring that up, okay? Ning Shu fidgeted and frowned. Her stance seemed to waver a bit. I'm just curious, where did you learn all these weird survival tips? Survival shows, survival anime. And of course, the 100,000 Whys. Are you sure? This ISNT just a joke on me? Of course not. I'm serious. If I could, I'd even borrow one from you. Ning Su Pluset. No way. Giving your sock to a guy for drinking water. It feels weird just thinking about it. Luja nodded and lay down on the grass. Then you drink it yourself. But if I die of thirst later, remember to bury me, so I won't have to crawl back to find you on the 7th day. How can you be like this? Ning Shu really couldn't do anything with him. But complaints aside, she still understood that Luja had done so much for the classmates. His physical energy had been drained a lot too. Even if she had to give a little, it was only fair. And she also liked watching survival shows. Thinking back, it seemed Bear Grylls had indeed used this method. She hesitated for a moment. Sighed, I feel like I'm really crazy. Doing something like this, saying that. She took off her sneakers and white socks. Then hesitated. Shyly handed one of the white cotton socks to Luja. Here, don't mind it. Luja took it and looked at it. After walking through the jungle for so long, the soles were still pristine white. Sniffed it didn't stink. Just a faint scent of sweat. Stop sniffing, stop sniffing. Ning Shu got annoyed and slapped him. I was just checking if I could accept it. Looks like you've got a goddess's constitution. It's not that hard to accept. Being praised by Luja, Ning Shu actually felt a bit proud. That's right. Next, Luja picked up a piece of tree bark, scooped some wet soil into the little white sock, then tightened the opening and squeezed slowly. Sure enough, relatively clear water droplets gathered underneath. Ning Shu was first puzzled, then amazed water actually came out. Luja held it above his head, then tilted his head back and caught the dripping water with his mouth. It really did feel quite refreshing. Ning Shu hesitated for a moment, then followed suit and indeed drank water too. How does it feel? Not bad, very thirst-quenching. But didn't you say it was fresh water? Why does it still taste a bit salty? That's the sweat stains from your socks. Ning Su Kaket. Lujate? Even you're disgusted with yourself? It has nothing to do with whose it is. Anyone would be disgusted by that. Just imagine you're a fairy. I already am one. The two sat back to back on the grass, bantering while drinking water filtered through socks. The afternoon sun shone down, and the scene was rather sweet and romantic. After changing the damp soil 3 times, no more water could be squeezed out, but the extreme thirst of both had also eased. Luja nodded. Let's go. Keep looking. He shook the dirt off the socks, tucked them away, and pulled her up. The two searched through the grass again. Still no fresh water to be found. They hadn't found any tuberous plants either. Just then, Luja spotted a bush. It was covered with dozens of small yellow fruits. They were about the size of jujubes. He didn't know if they were edible. He picked one and held it in his hand. He concentrated slightly, and information about the fruit came to his mind. Ningshu also came closer. What's this? Are they small jujubes? Lu just shook his head. They're called wild persimmons. The scientific name is junkianzi. They're a type of wild fruit. When ripe, they're edible, but they're not ripe yet. They're too sour and astringent, and they can easily cause diarrhea. We should remember this spot. In a few days when they're ripe, but before Luja could finish, a scream came from a distance. Then a sharp whistle. Luja and Ningshu were both startled. Oh no, something happened at the camp. Luja didn't have time to think. He grabbed Ningshu and ran toward the camp. Arriving at the camp, they saw Lin Qianqian huddled in a corner, holding the unconscious Jiang Yao. Tang Xiao was sat in front of them. She was so scared she started crying. About a meter away from them lay a large snake about 1.5 meters long with colorful patterns. It raised its head, flicking its tongue, lying on the leaves. Seeing Luja running over, Lin Qianqian let out a scream. Luja snake! I see it. Luja forced himself to stay calm. Don't anyone move. Luja remembered a method his grandfather used to catch snakes when he was a child. He took off his long pants, tied up the 2 pant legs. Then he circled around behind the snake. Using the pants as a bag, he lunged at it. Snakes are good at attacking, but not at dodging. It was instantly covered inside. It wanted to bite, but couldn't find a place to sink its teeth in inside the pants. It only sought the light, desperately trying to drill its way out. As soon as the snake's head emerged, Luja quickly pressed it down. Luja grabbed the snake and focused his mind slightly. Information about the snake appeared on his retina. New species, Southeast Asian silver-ringed snake subspecies. Prefers birds and rodents. Occasionally steals seagull eggs. Irritable temperament actively attacks mammals. System name, designated BM silver-ringed snake. Venom is a neurotoxin. Fatality rate 10%. Edible, rich in protein. The snake's body kept twisting. This feeling was very uncomfortable. Luja quickly put it into his pants pocket, then tightened the waist opening with his belt, forming a sealed cloth bag, then hung the pant pouch on a tree, then went back to check on Tang Xiaohua. Tang Xiaohua's tears were falling. Seeing Luja arrive, she burst into tears. Luja, I was just bitten. What? Luja rushed to Tang Xiaohua. Where were you bitten? Tang Xiaohua bit her lip. Bearing the pain, my toe. Luja grabbed Tang Xiaohua's right foot. On the soft, small toe pad of her right big toe, there were 2 tiny, distinct puncture holes. It turned out that 2 minutes earlier, this foraging snake had passed by here, slithering toward Jiang Yao and Lin Qianqian. Tang Xiaohua screamed in fright. To protect her companions, she wanted to drive the snake away. But in her panic, she couldn't think of a good way. So she directly kicked at it. The snake turned around and bit her, catching her right big toe squarely. Ningshu remarked with emotion, at least it's not a triangular head. This snake probably isn't venomous, right? But Luja's face darkened. Not all oval-headed venomous snakes are non-venomous. This is a subspecies of the banded kite. It's quite venomous. Hearing this, the companions were at a loss. Tang Xiaohua burst into loud cries. Am I going to die? No, you won't, Luja said perfunctorily. Time didn't allow him any hesitation. He immediately pulled off Tang Xiaohua's stockings and pinched the base of her big toe to stop the blood flow. Then he gently pushed forward, trying to squeeze as much snake venom out of the wound as possible. He used a bit more force than necessary, and Tang Xiaohua cried out in pain. Ow, oh, ouch. Luja scolded, Tang Xiaohua, be serious. This time, Tang Xiaohua didn't talk back. She just blushed and said weakly, oh, finally, no more blood was being squeezed out. It seemed most of the venom had been cleared out, but that didn't mean Tang Xiaoguo was out of danger. He consulted the survival manual, and the survival manual suggested using tannic acid or tannin substances to neutralize the venom, which could effectively reduce the poisoning. Tannin, right? That stuff can neutralize the alkaline proteins in snake venom. In nature, it's the best antidote. Where we find that here? Suddenly, Lu Zhi thought of the palm juice. The astringent taste of the juice is precisely because it's rich in tannin. Lu Zhi checked the tree sap collected in the plastic bag. There was only a small mouthful's worth. But even this small amount might save Boar's life. Lu Zhi carefully applied the tree sap to her wound. Tang Xiaoguo watched as Lu Zhi held her little foot in his hands. Her little face turned as red as a big apple. Lu Zhi had mostly finished treating the wound. Then he asked, "Anyone got a rubber band?" Ning Shu went to look in her backpack. Lin Qianqian pulled off one of her hair ties. "Use mine." Lu Zhi took it. He tied it tightly around Tang Xiaoguo's toe to block blood flow as much as possible. "Boar, how does it feel?" Tang Xiaoguo shook her head. "I don't feel anything." Lu Zhi let out a long breath. Even if some venom got into the body, it wouldn't be much. It hasn't damaged the senses or respiratory system. He should be able to survive. Ning Shu also felt relieved. She asked, "Lu Zhi, what's the deal with using tree sap on the wound?" Lu Zhi gave a brief explanation. Snake venom is alkaline. The tannic acid in plants can neutralize the venom. Palm tree sap is astringent. Almost all astringent foods contain tannic acid, like raw persimmons. Ning Shu nodded. Then something occurred to her. "Oh, remember the date plum we saw earlier? You said it wasn't ripe yet. It tastes astringent." "That's right. Wait here, I'll pick a few." "Okay, keep a few for emergencies." "Be careful." "No problem." 2 minutes later, Ning Shu returned with a small bunch of date plums. She applied them to Tang Xiaoguo's wound again. The crisis was finally over for now. But this time, there were 3 weak girls in the camp. Only Ning Shu was left to do the work. It seemed the survival challenge ahead had just gone a notch harder. Dan Xia Google not that. Looking at the juniper berry, which looked cute, she popped one in her mouth and chewed. The astringency nearly made the little girl jump out of her skin. She spat out immediately. "Wow, so sour and astringent. That's not for you to eat." Feeling hungry, Lu Zhi pointed his thumb back. "This snake can be our dinner tonight." Lin Qianqian said worriedly. "But wild snakes have parasites. Eating it could make us sick." "Don't worry too much about that," Lu Zhi said confidently. Snake populations on islands are relatively isolated. The chance of parasite infection is low. But just in case, we still need to cook it thoroughly. Lin Qianqian and Tang Xiaoguo exchanged glances. "I'll have a deep fear of eating slippery things like snakes." Ning Shu nodded. "I've actually eaten snake before, and it was spicy. But how do we handle this thing?" "I'll deal with it later." Tang Xiaoguo said, "God bless. Hope we can find other food." Lin Qianqian said expectantly, "It would be best to catch a tuna or something. Coconut crab would be acceptable too." Ning Shu sighed. "How could we be that lucky? My expectations aren't high. Catching a wild hare and roasting would be best." Tang Xiaoguo became anxious. "Bunnies are so cute. Don't you feel guilty eating them?" Ning Shu sighed. "Under these circumstances, you shouldn't feel sorry for bunnies. It's good enough to have something to eat." Lin Qianqian said, "I've heard rabbit meat is very low in fat. Eating too much of it might make people even hungrier." Ning Shu nodded. "So, in a wild, its skin and entrails are more worth eating than its meat, because the back's subcutaneous fat and organ fat content are the highest, but far less than pork or beef." Tang Xiaoguo touched her chin, thinking of something. "With that said, rabbit is actually a weight loss wonder." Lin Qianqian asked, "Weren't you just saying how cute rabbits are?" "Dan Xia Google not that. But if it can help keep my figure, that's another story." Lin Qianqian patted Tang Xiaoguo's calf. "Guoba, you're already so slim." Ning Susiket, "Oh no. I'm craving the spicy rabbit heads from my hometown." Speaking of which, why isn't the rescue team here yet? On Lu Zhi's side, although he had used his casual pants to hold the snake outside. But luckily, he was still wearing a pair of everyday athletic shorts underneath his trousers. This was because he had been wearing shorts before boarding the plane. The air conditioning on the plane was too cold, so he put on another pair of pants. Ready to get some sleep, he checked the forest perimeter once more. Make sure there are no other snakes. Only then did he feel relieved. Meanwhile, As Lu Zhu was checking around the campsite, Tang Xiaohua held her stomach. Her brows furrowed slightly. An ominous feeling came unexpectedly. Ning Shu noticed something unusual. Boar, what's wrong? Nothing. Boar forced an awkward smile. She whispered, class monitor, do you have any toilet paper? Ning Shu immediately understood. Miss Boar needed to poop. Lu Zhu had already caught on to what Tang Xiaohua meant. To spare her embarrassment, he said, I'll go take a walk by the shore. See if I can find some seafood. Then he walked alone toward the beach. It was high tide at the moment. There was no seafood on the beach except for some hermit crabs the size of fingernails. Lu Zhu picked one up and looked at it. The bigger ones are okay, but these small ones have more shell than meat. The energy they provide isn't even enough to digest them. He wanted to find a sharp stone or an oyster shell to sharpen into a knife. But after searching for a long time, he still couldn't find a suitable stone. Sure enough, real survival wasn't as easy as those so-called survival experts on TikTok and Kuaishou made it seem. But Lu Zhu eventually found a useful resource. A large piece of kelp drifting with the waves. This stuff is rich in vitamins and carbohydrates. It was edible, but because this piece of kelp was too tough, eating it directly might put a strain on the stomach. But having something was better than nothing. He rolled up the kelp and put it into a plastic bag and carried it back to the camp. It wasn't a total failure. Tang Xiaohua seemed to have accomplished her first bathroom feat, but judging by her furrowed brows and her indescribable expression, it seemed it hadn't gone smoothly. Well, her foot was injured, and the snake bite was throbbing with pain. There was no toilet here, so she simply couldn't squat down. It's already hard enough that it came out. Boar, how are you? It's okay, just a little uncomfortable. It'll pass once it eases up. And just then, the system in Lu Zhu's mind suddenly sent a notification. Ding! Important supplies detected within 100 meters. Strawberry seeds. Lu Zhu was overjoyed. Strawberries are a fruit he loves dearly. He understood that if there were strawberries on this island, his quality of life would directly improve several levels. He walked in the direction provided by the system. After walking about 40 meters, he reached the marked spot. He noticed a broad leaf on the ground. It indicated the seeds were under that broad leaf. He walked over suspiciously. He lifted the leaf. Holy crap! Dumbfounded, crushed at a loss. At that moment, he almost died on the spot. What the hell did I do wrong to make me go through this? He saw a small pit under the leaf. In the small pit, there was a small puddle of yellow stuff. There were several little black dots on it, and a few pieces of snow-white tissue paper. Lu Zhu couldn't help but dry heave. Then he understood Boar must have eaten strawberries not long ago. So the seeds on the strawberry surface had been swallowed into its stomach and brought to the island, because strawberry seeds have digestive resistance enzymes. And possibly due to diarrhea, which accelerated excretion, they weren't digested by stomach acid. So the question was, what should Lu Zhu do now? Give up directly or bravely search for those seeds and find a quality planting spot for them? Lu Zhu's first thought was to give up. Then he hoped the rescue team would arrive soon. But rationally thinking it over, he shook his head. What if the rescue team couldn't come on time? They might have to stay here for a long time. A life with strawberries and a life without strawberries were completely different worlds. No, I can't go against my principles for strawberries. Thinking this, he gritted his teeth. I will absolutely not do such a thing. Absolutely not. Lu Zhu had made up his mind, but as soon as he closed his eyes, he felt countless bright red, juicy big strawberries flying around him. In the end, Lu Zhu expressed his opinion in a serious tone. As castaways on a deserted island, we must collect every available resource as much as possible. Before boarding the plane, we ate some fruits. The seeds of those fruits entered our stomachs and were brought to the island. Because seeds contain antioxidant enzymes, they won't be completely digested. With these seeds, we can reclaim land and cultivate fields. We can plant fruits. Even if we are rescued later, we won't have to live too poorly. After Lu Zhu said this, the two girls exchanged glances and found it quite reasonable. I understand the logic. Lin Qianqian asked weakly. But what kind of twisted logic makes you think of looking for seeds and feces? Ning Shu said, by the way, even Bear Grylls and Ed Stafford wouldn't do something that disgusting, right? Lu Zhu shrugged. When Ed was on the verge of starvation, he would re-roast and eat the undigested beans from his own feces. Bear Grylls would also squeeze water out of elephant dung to drink. Compared to that, what we're doing isn't so bad, is it? Both girls retched in unison. That's still pretty twisted. Lucia thought of a key question. Right, what did you two eat on the plane? Did you have any fruit? Lin Qianqian frowned in refusal. Don't want to tell you. Ning Shu also put her hands on her hips. You'll never know. Lucia smiled. It's fine if you don't tell me. But if we don't get rescued, in a few months, you'll either be gnawing on tree bark and eating seaweed, or feasting on all sorts of fruit. The choice is yours. The two girls, upon hearing this, both began to waver a little. Ning Shu whispered to Lin Qianqian. Actually, that does make some sense. Lin Qianqian said, blushing. But we can't let the guys rummage through our stuff. That thing, we die of shame. Oh, that's true. Just then, a weak, feeble call from Tang Xiao came from not too far away. Class monitor, Qianqian, Lucia, where have you guys gone? Coming. We'll have to put the poop thing on hold. Back at the camp, everyone saw that Tang Xiao's face was pale. She was feverish and had some difficulty breathing. Lucia understood that a small amount of snake venom had indeed invaded Tang Xiao's heart and lungs. Without an antidote, the unripe wild persimmons themselves were also toxic. She couldn't eat too many. For now, all she could do was drink plenty of water to speed up her body's metabolism. To eliminate the toxins, he quickly checked the distiller. It had been over 4 hours. Each of the 3 distillers had produced about 10 milliliters of fresh water, about 30 milliliters in total, which is only a small mouthful. Quickly give it to Tang Xiao to drink. As for the two girls' misunderstanding about him cleaning up poop, let time slowly fade away. Lucia checked his watch. It was already past 4 in the afternoon. In a few more hours, it would be dark. He knew that to survive, he couldn't rely solely on distilling. He had to find more fresh water before nightfall. He decided to go back into the woods to search. This time, he had Ning Shu and Lin Qianqian take care of Tang Xiao and Jiang Yao, while he went into the forest alone. Because he was alone, he climbed into the northern woods from a steeper section. Here, it was noticeably denser than the south. All around were the chirps of unknown insects. He searched carefully, and by great luck, he found a small patch of Hautuinia cordata under a tree. He carefully pulled it up. A whole handful of this plant had a rather unique flavor, rich in nutritional value. It can provide vitamins and carbohydrates for the human body. It is a high-quality wild vegetable resource. More importantly, it also has certain detoxifying effects, although the effect is not very significant. Finding one clump means this species exists on the island. If you look carefully, there should be more. He was delighted, but he had already picked most of the nearby fish meat. He continued searching, and hard work paid off. Finally, he found fresh water at the foot of a small hill. It was a puddle. The puddle was not big, with an estimated water storage of only about 2 liters. It should be accumulated water dripping from a mountain, gathering here to form a puddle. He dipped a finger in it, tasted it, no flavor. Freshwater, it's freshwater. This is really something to be happy about. Unfortunately, the water was quite muddy. He would need something more fine to filter it. Check the system manual for any suggestions. Suggestion: for overly muddy water, you can use the cotton padding of a bra to filter it. The method was a good one, but it was a bit difficult to execute. Going to ask to borrow it now, both girls already suspected he had perverted tendencies. And to ask them to borrow that thing, whether they would lend it or not, was another matter. His pervert persona would probably never be cleared for the rest of his life. But thinking back on it, if he didn't do this, he wouldn't be able to get clean, fresh water. Without fresh water, not only would Tang Xiao and Jiang Yao be in danger, even he himself and Lin Qianqian. Ningshu might also die here. There was no choice left. For survival, to stay alive, he had to steel himself and go through with it. He returned to the camp. He found that only 2 of the 4 girls were left. Looking up, in the distance, Ning Shu and Lin Qianqian were gathering sticks, preparing to make a snake-proof fence around the camp. In the camp, Jiang Yao still hadn't woken up. Tang Xiao was also lying down asleep. Maybe she was just too exhausted. Explaining it to them would take a lot of words. I'll just use it directly for now. While Ning Shu and Lin Qianqian were busy, he quietly walked over to Jiang Yao, gently touched Jiang Yao's forehead. The temperature had already gone down. Her breathing was even and strong. She'd probably wake up before long, and her clothes were spread beneath her. The straps of her bra had already been undone, just loosely covering her chest. If he was quick, maybe he could finish everything before they woke up. Luja gently took it off. The holy light was dazzling. He quickly shook his head, chasing away the bad thoughts, then covered her with the clothes. With this, he could filter fresh water. If he was fast enough, he could put it back without anyone noticing. He nodded and hurried away, ran to the puddle. Kneeling down, he stacked the two bowls together, scooped up the dirty water with a leaf, and poured it on top. The dirty water seeped through 2 layers of cotton pads, slowly trickling out from the bottom. The murky water became clear, truly a filtration miracle. This is incredibly useful. He quickly caught it with a bottle. A few minutes later, Ning Shu and Lin Qianqian returned. Then they saw a bizarre sight. Ning Shu's expression changed. She pointed at Jiang Yao, who was lying down. Don't you feel like something's missing? It's the bra. Lin Qianqian also exclaimed in panic. Could there really be a pervert stealing clothes on a deserted island? She thought again, could it be a squirrel? What would a squirrel do with such a thing? I don't know either. How embarrassing, Qianqian. Give me a hand. Okay. The 2 girls pulled Jiang Yao's sailor uniform out from under her and covered her more securely. How strange. What's so strange at a time like this? Tang Xiao also woke up with a yawn. Ning Shu quickly asked, Boar, did you see anyone take Jiang Yao's bra just now? What? Tang Xiao's eyes widened. The bra is missing. Ning Shu and Lin Qianqian both nodded. Tang Xiao quickly pulled down her collar to check her own, letting out a long sigh. Mine is still here. After thinking for a moment, she said worriedly, it couldn't be Luja, could it? Ning Shu shook her head and said with certainty, although Luja has been acting a bit strange lately. He's been solving problems from a survival perspective. From what I know, he's not the kind of person to steal girls' underwear. But he's the only boy here. Who else could it be? Ning Shu hesitated and said, how about this? I'll ask him directly. By the way, where did Luja go? Lin Qianqian thought back. He said he was just going to look around nearby. He shouldn't have gone far. Ning Shu imagined Luja messing with poop and couldn't help but shudder. He wouldn't go play with that stuff again, would he? Tang Xiao was stunned. Play with what? Ning Shu was sure that if she said it out loud, Luja is playing with the poop you gourmet, Tang Xiao would die on the spot. So she casually brushed it off. Just bugs and stuff. Tang Xiao frowned and said, do all guys like playing with those things? Oh, yeah, Ning Susiket. Why is he so troublesome? Class monitor, don't worry. Lin Qianqian comforted her. Luja is usually quite reliable. He shouldn't have gone far. Let's just wait patiently for a while. This deserted island is unfamiliar. How can I not be worried? At that moment, Tang Xiao seemed to hear something. Hey, listen, what's that sound? It sounds like someone is whistling, and the tune is a bit inappropriate. Tang Xiao listened carefully. It was the tune piggybacking the bride. Ning Shu straightened up. Let me check on Luja's side. He had filtered 4 full bottles of fresh water by this puddle. Overjoyed, he couldn't help it, and began to whistle a cheerful little tune. He put the water bottles in his pocket and carried them back. Feeling delighted, he couldn't help praising 35D with that familiar milky scent. So his deskmate really was the real deal. If it were Boar doing this, it would probably take another hour. But before he reached the camp, he saw Ning Shu suddenly step out from behind a tree. She had her hands on her hips, squinting slightly, and shook her head with deep regret. Her look was like that of a long, suffering mother, who suddenly discovers her son, on whom she had placed infinite hopes, secretly downloading Japanese adult films. Luja's heart tightened. He instinctively hid the item in his right hand behind his back. 3 minutes later, the 3 girls sat across from Luja. Ning Shu was angry. Qianqian was confused. On the other hand, was on the verge of tears from anger. Jiang Yao's bra lay between them like evidence. I said, is this really necessary? Tang Xiao said sadly. Ever since we came to this island, classmate Luja has gone from a normal guy to a pervert. He even goes as far as stealing girls' clothes. Who knows what he might do next? Luja felt helpless. I've said it so many times already. I used this to get fresh water from the puddle. He picked up the water bottle and shook it. See, the truth is right in front of you. Tang Xiao continued. Fine, even if I understand you use this to get fresh water, at the very least, you should have discussed it with us. Taking it so sneakily, what's the difference between that and being a pervert? With the matter out in the open, Luja became more assertive. If I told you straight up, would you have agreed? Ask yourselves honestly. I asked if anyone could lend me some, but who would? Lin Xianqian and Ning Shu exchanged glances, both with rejecting expressions. See, I'm trying to save everyone, and I'm even willing to be falsely accused of being a pervert and a degenerate. But you guys at a life or death moment won't even lend a bra, and you blame me. Who said that? Dang xia Google pout that. If you had just asked me nicely, maybe, just maybe I'd lend it to you. That answer was actually unexpected. Luja said casually, your cup size is too small. Using yours, I wouldn't even finish in an hour. Tang Xiao will look down at her not so prominent chest. A strong sense of inferiority, combined with a surge of anger. She lifted her head in fury, clenching her little fists. Luja, what do you mean by that? Luja looked up and saw Tang Xiao was about to explode expression. I'm going to strangle you. The little girl lunged straight at him, straddling him, her tiny hands clamped around his neck. She looked adorably fierce, scaring the life out of him. Luja dramatically screamed for help. This made Tang Xiao laugh despite her anger. She pinched him. Stupid Luja. I wasn't even using any force, okay? But at that moment, a vague call came over. Luja. Everyone froze, because it was Jiang Yao's voice. Everyone thought Jiang Yao had woken up. They hurried over to check, but found her eyes closed. Her lips trembled slightly. Luja. Jiang Yao. Yao Yao. They all called out together. But Jiang Yao didn't respond. Over and over again, she muttered Luja's name indistinctly. Tang Xiao was said angrily. Luja, why does Yao Yao keep calling your name? How should I know? Luja also found it strange. He had known Jiang Yao since childhood. They were also partners in the dance troupe. They usually had a good relationship, but it's not like they're close enough to call out each other's names in dreams. Are you two secretly hooking up? Luja thought for a moment. No, not really. Hesitating means yes. Yes, it is. Tang Xiao will raise her little fist and punched him repeatedly. Stop messing around. Luja caught Tang Xiao's small hand. Besides, even if it were true, what's it to you? Tang Xiao's eyes widened. I don't want to see you fooling an innocent young girl. Ning Shu said, don't argue. Listen carefully. Then, they heard Jiang Yao mumble again. Luja, wash your hands clean before touching me. Luja let out a long breath. This was Jiang Yao's usual conversation with him. As dance partners, during competitions, it was inevitable to hold hands or touch waists. Jiang Yao always insisted that Luja wash his hands several times. She often said, I love cleanliness. My dance partner has to be perfectly clean too. Misunderstanding cleared. Next was to rescue the person. Luja handed over a bottle of water. Use this. Ning Shu took it. He clumsily twisted off the cap and poured it into her mouth. But he lost control, and she choked, spitting it out. Lin Xianqian said, let me do it. She carefully poured the water into the bottle cap, then tipped the cap into Jiang Yao's mouth. After a short while, Jiang Yao slowly opened her eyes. She saw her dirty classmates. She gasped and nearly passed out again. The others quickly fanned her, gave her water, and pinched her philtrum. After a little more time, Jiang Yao finally woke up. What water? Tang Xiao blurted out. Nothing much, just water from a puddle. Ugh. Hearing this, Jiang Yao kept vomiting. Indeed, Jiang Yao, stranded on the deserted island. The first thing after waking up was vomiting. It was just because she drank milky puddle water. So gross. Jiang Yao screamed in frustration. What to do now? For a moment, Lin Xianqian and Tang Xiao were at a loss. Ning Shu also had no idea. Luja, however, was very clear-headed. Usually, everyone could accommodate her cleanliness obsession. But out in the wilderness with harsh conditions and scarce supplies, they simply couldn't let her have her way. Thinking of this, Luja stood up. He said in a deep voice, everyone step aside. Let me reason with her. Ning Shu hesitated. Can you do it? Luja said with confidence. Don't worry, I know her best. Lin Xianqian and Tang Xiao stepped aside. Jiang Yao, stay away from me. Luja sneered and directly turned her body around, grabbing her arms and lifting her up. Jiang Yao was a bit puzzled. She said flusteredly, Hey, what are you doing? This is no time for dancing. Luja forcefully pushed her against a tree and pressed down on her shoulders without giving her a chance to speak. Said with utmost gravity, Next, everything I tell you is what actually happened. Though these things might sound hard to believe, they are what save your life. Jiang Yao had never seen Lu Zhe like this before. She shrank back, face flushed, her watery eyes wide, looking a little helpless as she nodded. We did feed you muddy puddle water. Not only that, I told you. The water bottle was also picked up from somewhere. What? Jiang Yao's face grew even redder, and a wave of nausea hit her, making her want to vomit. Lu Zhe let out a cold laugh and covered her mouth with one hand, not letting her throw up. She struggled desperately, but there was no way she could overpower Lu Zhe. The other three girls stared wide-eyed at the scene, unsure if they should intervene. But even if it was water from a muddy puddle, it's nothing much. Lu Zhe said, extremely calm. To cool you down, we soaked socks in seawater and placed them on your forehead. Socks. On the forehead. Jiang Yao's eyes were filled with despair, which made him feel a bit sorry for her. But he knew that being soft-hearted at this moment would only harm her. He gritted his teeth and continued. You might already be unable to bear it by now, but I still have to tell you, there's even worse. Ning Shu exclaimed, don't talk about that part. Lu Zhe paid no attention. He continued, when we first saw you, you were severely dehydrated, on the verge of death. We poured even filthier things down your throat to save you. Cracked like a bolt of lightning from a clear sky. It struck Jiang Yao right between the eyes. At that moment, she only felt dizzy and lightheaded. The other three girls were also dumbfounded, not daring to imagine what would happen next. Jiang Yao desperately grabbed Lu Zhe's wrist. She couldn't speak, only able to utter from her mouth a whimpering sound. But Lu Zhe didn't intend to stop. Even this hand that I'm covering your mouth with had just recently found over 20 strawberry seeds in the feces of wild animals. A hand that found seeds and feces. Cover my mouth. The blow to Jiang Yao was no less than a nuclear bomb. Tang Xiao muttered about luck. What wild animals? Lu Zhe continued gravely and seriously. But what I want to tell you is, while you were unconscious, we encountered many troubles. But we overcame them one by one. Qian fanned you to cool you down and wiped your body. The squad leader and I searched for fresh water and food for you. Guer, to protect you, had her toes bitten by a snake. Everyone is striving to survive, struggling with all your might to find limited resources. In order to get through the even harder days ahead, I ask you, what right do you have to be squeamish? And what right do you have to waste? These questions made Jiang Yao's face turn red with shame. The urge to vomit also lessened. Lu Zhe knew that his approach was working. Next, I'll let go of my hand. I'll allow you to vomit. But what I want to tell you is, whatever you throw up, you'll eat it back later. Remember, this isn't a game of house. This is real wilderness survival. Having said that, Lu Zhe slowly lowered his hand, covering her mouth. Jiang Yao stood there frozen, her pupils trembling. She felt the urge to vomit again. She quickly covered her mouth. In the end, she didn't throw up. Jiang Yao had never seen Lu Zhe act like this toward her. In her eyes, Lu Zhe had always been the kind of person with a good temper. A responsible yet carefree guy. Even if girls bully him, he never held it against them. But today, she saw a different side of Lu Zhe. For a moment, she was stunned. Is this still the Lu Zhe I know? She thought she should hate this rudeness of Lu Zhe's. But in reality, she didn't feel a trace of disgust. Instead, there was a strange feeling. Xiao Zhu, her face slightly flushed. Thank you, you're welcome. Lu Zhe gave a faint smile. His tone softened a bit compared to just now. I know it's unrealistic to expect you to change completely in a short time, but you must learn to adapt. Only then can you survive. Understand? Jiang Yao nodded. I will try my best. Ning Shu stood up and extended a friendly hand. Welcome Jiang Yao as an official member of the survival team of the School of Economics and Management at Jiaotong University. Jiang Yao hesitated for a moment, reached out and shook hands with Ning Shu. Thank you, class monitor. Then said to Lin Qianqian and Tang Xiaohua. Thank you both as well. Lin Qianqian said with a smile. The environment is a bit tough. I hope the life committee member won't mind. Jiang Yao looked around. It is a bit dirty, but it's okay. This is all thanks to everyone's efforts. At that moment, she looked down, feeling like something was missing. Where's my Victoria's Secret? That question is a bit hard to answer. Lu Zhe scratched his head and pointed at the beach. Hey, it seems there's something over there. I'll go check it out. Then he decisively slipped away. Seeing Lu Zhe leave, Ning Su siket helplessly. She handed over the bra. Because it was affecting your breathing, I help you take it off. Jiang Yao took it and looked at it. Suddenly, she exclaimed in shock. How'd it get dirty inside? There's so much mud, I can't wear it anymore. Ning Shu gave a helpless smile. To be honest, these bottles of water were filtered using that. Whose idea was that? To avoid unnecessary awkwardness between the boys and girls. Ning Shu gritted her teeth and decided to take the blame for Lu Zhe. It was me. Jiang Yao was startled at first. Class monitor? Expecting Jiang Yao to fly into a rage. She remained surprisingly calm. If you thought about it, there seemed to be a hint of disappointment. So it was the class monitor who used it. I thought it was Lu Zhe. Yao, you won't blame me, will you? Of course not. The class monitor's method was pretty good. I originally thought I was useless, but I didn't expect that even when I was unconscious, I contributed to the team. As she spoke, she deliberately puffed out her chest. Tang Xiao glanced at her impressive figure, said sourly, Hey, girls should be a bit more reserved. Don't forget there's a guy here too. You mean Xiaozhe? Jiang Yao looked at Lu Zhe's back in the distance, shrugging lazily. But I can't help it either. It's not like I can blindfold Xiaozhe's eyes. Jiang Yao kept calling him Xiaozhe very intimately, which made Tang Xiao extremely annoyed. By the way, Boar, I heard a snake bit your foot. How is it? Seeing Jiang Yao ask this, Tang Xiao stuck out her little foot, showing the wound. Said pitifully, the venom was strong, but luckily Xiaozhe sucked the poison out for me. It's much better now. He personally sucked the snake venom out for you? Jiang Yao exclaimed. Tang Xiao said with a hint of cunning. It's really embarrassing, but there was no choice. The situation was dangerous at that time. If he hadn't done that, I might not have survived. I wonder if his future girlfriend would mind if she knew. Jiang Yao thought for a moment and smiled faintly. No, she wouldn't. He did it to save someone. If she's a reasonable girlfriend like me, she wouldn't just understand him, but also be proud of him. Tang Xiao suppressed her anger, forcing a faint smile. It sounds like you're already his girlfriend. Just hypothetically, but even as his childhood friend, I think his actions were very manly. Don't you think so? Tang Xiao was speechless and frowned. She felt that ever since they were stranded on the desert island, she had faced a real crisis. She compared herself inwardly. Compared to Jiang Yao, aside from being a bit shorter and having a smaller chest, her looks were no worse. In terms of cuteness, she might even be a little ahead. Also, she could sing and dance well. With her elegant temperament, there's no reason she should lose to that cleanliness freak. I wonder what's going on in that blockhead Lu Zhe's mind. Lu Zhe, on the other hand, wasn't thinking about anything. He just walked alone to the beach, carefully observing the sand and the waves. Soon, he discovered an important clue. The highest point the waves had reached not long ago. Now, couldn't even be reached by the water, which meant the tide had started going out. Look, the tide is going out. The girls all turned to look. At that moment, the sun was tilting westward, getting closer and closer to the horizon. The air finally felt a bit cooler. Seagulls and boobies began to appear, flying along the shoreline in search of food. Really? The girls exclaimed in surprise. Ning Shu sighed, but there's still no sign of a rescue team. Lu Zhe walked back, glanced at his watch, and said to the four girls, Everyone, it's 4:30 in the afternoon. This is the time when the island's tide goes out. Lin Qianqian took out her notebook. Hurry up and write it down. Lu Zhe continued analyzing. The tide starts receding at 4:30 p.m., estimating 2 low tides per day. It will reach its lowest point at 10:30 tonight. Then the tide will start coming in. Around 4 or 5 in the morning, there will be a second low tide. Then the tide will come in again at 10 a.m. Ning Shu gave a thumbs up. Amazing. How do you know all this? Tang Xiao said happily. The tide's out. Does that mean we can go beachcombing for treasure now? Like those beachcombing bloggers on TikTok, who bring back a whole basket of seafood every time. Lu Zhe nodded. We can, but don't get your hopes up too high. Most of the beachcombing videos on TikTok are fake. Real beachcombing isn't that easy. Hey, maybe we'll get lucky. Tang Xiao said excitedly. What if we find a king crab? Then we don't have to eat that lousy snake. King crab, Ning Shu said in surprise. What can I? Or, Lu Zhe said seriously. I can tell you clearly. The probability of finding a king crab on this kind of beach is about the same as finding a box of fish fragrant shredded pork rice bowl. Why? Lin Qianqian said weakly. If I remember correctly, king crabs live in the cold deep sea, right? Ah, Tang Xiao was a bit disappointed, but soon got excited again. Can't find a king crab. Finding a hairy crab is pretty good too. Finding a hairy crab on the beach? Jiang Yao was very surprised. Tang Xiao was said very affirmatively. I really did find one before. Ning Shu laughed. Are you sure it was a hairy crab and not a swimming crab? Tang Xiao thought for a moment. What crab? Isn't it all the same? Lin Qianqian said, of course they're different. Some are sea crabs, some are river crabs. Lu Zhi didn't want to get into a discussion about whether they could find hairy crabs on the beach. So he said, the question is, can you walk on that foot? Let me try. She tried lifting her little foot and took 2 steps like a little penguin. See? No problem, right? But that was only 2 steps. On the 3rd step, a splash of sand accidentally hit the wound, and she started yelping in pain again. I think you'd better stay at the camp. No, I want to go. Lin Qianqian said, how about this? We'll take turns helping Boar. Wherever it's fun, we'll let her sit there for a while. Okay. Several girls raised their hands in agreement. Jiang Yao chuckled and winked and invited Xiaozhe. You should come with us too. To be honest, searching for supplies by the beach is indeed a lot of fun. But Lu Zhi knew he had more important things to do now. No, you guys go have fun. Remember, don't split up, stay together. And don't wander too far from the camp. If something dangerous happens, blow the whistle. Jiang Yao pouted in disappointment. She urged, be careful, okay? Tang Xiao pouted and said, Yao Yao, come help me up. Lu Zhi smiled and maiden. Ok, Zescher. Watching the backs of the 4 girls laughing and chatting joyfully, Lu Zhi felt his mood lift too. Now, with a simple camp set up and a few bottles of fresh water to sustain life, he thought rationally the most urgent task now was to make fire. A campfire could not only cook food, but also bring light, warmth, and hope. If a rescue team or fishing boat appeared, they could burn wet wood and plastic to create black smoke, sending a signal. A campfire was just as vital a survival element as fresh water. He felt it was necessary to get a fire going before nightfall. Yet he doesn't smoke, and he doesn't have a lighter on him either. Even if he did, he wouldn't be allowed to bring on a plane. To start a fire in the wilderness, there are several methods. Either find flint, rub sticks to create friction, or use the principle of a convex lens. Concentrate sunlight to start a fire, or the most common method, bow drill. Oh, right, there's also starting a fire with a battery. That's the simplest, but now, either the 3 phones have run out of battery, or they've been soaked in seawater for too long. The batteries are already ruined, completely unusable. What about other methods? No idea where to find flint. And there's no device similar to a convex lens either. The only suitable option left is the bow drill method. And the bow drill method itself has several variations. There's the hand drill method. There's the indigenous Iroquois pump drill. There's the bow drill device. And there's the fire plow method. Lu Zhi weighed his options carefully in his mind. Directly rubbing with hands definitely won't work. Your hands would be covered in calluses. And you need to know how to apply that force. Otherwise, within 10 minutes, you'd have a few shiny blisters on your hands, guaranteed. The Iroquois pump drill? No good either. That device is more complex. It requires drilling holes, and right now, he has no drill bit and no cutting tool either. It's basically impossible. The hand drill method, also called the fire plow, is the same method Tom Hanks used in his survival ordeal, but it's a bit inefficient. Actually, the most suitable fire-making method for him would be the bow drill. That's the method the survival expert, Ed Stafford, most commonly uses. This gadget is relatively simple to make. Find a flexible piece of wood and a cord. Make a bow, then find a small stick. Loop the cord around the small stick once. Press it down onto a wooden board, and as you pull the bow back and forth, the small stick spins rapidly. It's way more efficient than rubbing by hand. Yes, use the bow drill. With a plan in mind, it was time to put into action. First, find a sheltered spot. To prevent the newly kindled flame from being blown out, he decided to set the fire starting point under a tree about 40 meters from the camp. Once the fire was stable, he would move it to the camp. Next, he needed to find suitable branches. That wasn't hard, either within 5 minutes. He found a branch about 30 centimeters long. He bent it with his hands. Its flexibility and elasticity were just right. As for the string, he didn't have time to make one from scratch, so he used his own shoelace. First, he tied one end tightly then bent the stick, tied the other end tightly, and in less than 3 minutes, a compact, simple bow drill was complete. Preparing tinder was also simple. He found 2 dry leaves, rubbed them vigorously in his palms with a rustling sound, and that was it. Then he found a dry stick about 15 centimeters long and a thick piece of wood. He rounded both ends of the stick on a stone, wrapped the shoelace from the bow around it twice, placed a thick piece of wood under the stick, pressed down on top with a shell. The materials weren't perfect, but they do. With his left hand holding the shell, he pulled and pushed with his right hand. Sure enough, the stick started spinning rapidly. It was a bit tiring on the arms, though. Luja had only been at it for a short while, and his shoulders were already aching. No choice but to try a different posture. He switched to gripping the end of the bow with his right hand, moving it up and down, putting all the effort into pulling back. Hey, would you look at that? This way actually felt much more manageable. After a short while, a small hole had been drilled into the thick wood. But this was just the beginning. To actually get a fire going, he needed plenty of patience and perseverance. Half an hour later, Luja had drilled out quite a bit of wood dust, and the color of the dust had started to darken. Luja knew the tip of the drill bit was already hot. At this moment, he must not let up. He had to keep going, and, at the same time, several girls had picked up quite a few good things. Small bottles were filled with hermit crabs of various sizes. Plastic bags contained colorful seashells. Perhaps in their eyes, how much protein and calories they contained didn't matter. Looking good was what really counted. We found so many things. Luja won't dare look down on us now, will he? Too bad we didn't find any hairy crabs. But it's okay. We found a bunch of small crabs. Those are small sea crabs, right? And very small. If you didn't look closely, you'd mistake them for 1 jiao coins. By the way, do you know how to eat hermit crabs? I don't know. Maybe Luja knows how to eat them. Let's go check on him together. The 4 girls supported each other back to the camp, but didn't see Luja. Ningshu stood on tiptoe and looked around. She saw Luja sitting on the grass, not far away, doing something unknown. Over there, let's go. The 4 girls walked over. But when they were still about 30 meters from Luja, the 4 of them stopped simultaneously without any prior agreement. Hey, what is he doing? Not far away, Luja was sitting on a rock, his back to them, his right hand moving up and down vigorously. No one knew what he was doing. The 4 girls looked at each other. Tang Xiao was said, "Who knows? What is he doing?" Lin Qianqian shook her head in confusion. "Just go over and ask, then we'll know." No. Ningshu seemed to suddenly realize something. Her expression was extremely serious. She frowned slightly, her face turning pale, and a bit flushed. Jiang Yao was confused. "What's wrong, class monitor?" Ningshu pursed her lips and said with distress, "I never expected. He's actually doing that legendary kind of thing." "What do you mean, that legendary kind of thing?" All 3 girls were stunned. Lin Qianqian asked curiously, "What exactly is it?" Tang Xiao pressed, "Yeah, class monitor. Can you be a bit clearer?" It's. Ningshu stomped her foot in embarrassment and frustration. "Oh, I can't bring myself to say it." Jiang Yao shrugged casually. "Hey, since the class monitor won't say, why don't we just go take a look?" Tang Xiao nodded in agreement. "Yeah, maybe we'll find something fun." Ningshu immediately ran ahead, blocking their way. I told you can't go. Even if Luja's behavior is inappropriate, we still have to give him basic respect." Lin Qianqian said softly. "But class monitor, the more you say that, the more curious we become. What exactly is it?" "Okay, I'll tell you. But we need to go back to the camp first." Ningshu led everyone back to the camp. She took out that book, Master of Husbands. She opened a page. "Oh, ignorant maidens, take a look at this page." Lin Qianqian picked up the book suspiciously. She read a passage in her clear voice. When Sima Xiang was 14, he discovered a mysterious act in the dark night. Later, when he encountered the word tremble, his understanding was clearly different from his peers. Thus he began to approach Goethe's intention. This deceased German old man once said, "Fear and trembling are the highest good of humanity." The 3 girls looked up. 3 pairs of bright, big eyes all showed deep confusion. This is a bad habit unique to boys. Anyway, we have to save him. While the girls were chattering and discussing in depth how to help Luja break his bad habits, a thin wisp of black smoke finally rose from the pile of wood ash in front of Luja. Overjoyed, He ignored his aching arms and didn't rest, quickly pouring the wood ash onto the dry tinder leaves he had rubbed together. He held it in his hands and blew on it again and again. A few seconds later, a flame suddenly shot up, igniting the dry tinder leaves. Huh, hard work pays off. Finally got a fire. This was also thanks to the daily check-in with Qianqian, which had restored my stamina. Otherwise, in my current state, I would never have been able to start a fire. He carefully fanned the fire to make it burn brighter. Once it was a bit stronger, he could move the fire pit to near the campsite. He wondered how those little girls would react when they saw he had lit a fire. They'd probably be overjoyed. Seeing the fire was stable, he wanted to go tell the girls to gather more stones and firewood. Build a standard campfire near the campsite. He needs to move the campfire. He wipes the sweat from his forehead, walked back and saw a few girls seemingly chatting secretly about something. Luja was a bit curious. Were these little girls studying, acting all mysterious? He carefully walked over. Unexpectedly, he was still discovered. Tang Xiao screamed in panic. Ah, Luja is here. The four girls immediately huddled together nervously. Luja was a bit puzzled. Hey, what's up with you guys? Lin Qianqian got nervous. The notebook in her hand fell down. Luja grabbed it quickly. The four girls shouted at the same time. Don't look. Luja was startled. Is there a photo of a girl inside or something? Why can't I look? Could it be your privacy? No, that is... Luja realized the girls were hiding something from him. Driven by intense curiosity, he glanced at the notebook. All the four girls' faces turned pale. In elegant handwriting, it read, "Plan to help Luja quit his bad habits." Below was a cartoon of a boy carrying someone on his back, with a few wavy lines drawn on his arm, representing swinging motion. In an instant, Luja understood everything. Then beside the picture, various quitting methods were written, things like a balanced diet, healthy exercise, and diverting attention. So detailed that Luja instantly turned into a statue. What the hell? Seeing the truth was already exposed. Ning Shu switched to a sincere, earnest tone. This is all for your own good. Luja, Tang Xiao was said helplessly. Luja, this isn't right. You have to quit, Jiang Yao said worriedly. Luja, even though this kind of thing being found out by others, especially by girls, is really embarrassing, we believe we're all doing this for your own good. Lin Qianqian said nervously. Please focus on your studies. Luja, don't do things that are harmful to your health. Luja's eyes were tearing up. Being suspected by girls of having bad habits was already crushing enough. What made it worse was that those girls were all working together to help and save him. He didn't even know whether to laugh or cry. Just you wait. 3 minutes later, Luja moved the firewood pile to the campsite. He said word by word, "Ladies, have you all seen clearly now? I was rubbing my hands together to make a fire by friction just now." The four girls sat side by side in front of the firewood pile, staring at the burning flames, dumbfounded. A campfire? No, that wasn't a campfire. It was an execution ground for collective social sentencing. We thought, oh dear, don't say anymore. I'm so embarrassed I could die. It's all the class monitor's fault for leading our thoughts astray. How can you blame me? Anyone would misunderstand that scene. Okay? Only you would think that. None of us did. Sigh, how are we supposed to face people from now on? Luja found it both funny and annoying. But the sight of four school beauties awkwardly cringing with embarrassment wasn't something you could see every day. What to do now? Forgive them magnanimously? As if this is a perfect chance to properly straighten out the survival mindset. Luja deliberately put on a serious tone, cleared his throat twice. For the sake of our survival, I'm drilling wood for fire despite the hardship. My arms are about to break from exhaustion. Unexpectedly, you all misunderstood it as some bad habit. Come on, admit it. Whose mind was that dirty? All three girls pointed their fingers at Ning Shu. Class monitor Ning Shu gave an awkward smile. Well, I admit it's my fault. But, Luja, you have to understand me. As class monitor, I need to care about every classmate's physical and mental health, right? Look at everything you've been through lately. As a guy, it's not easy to keep yourself in check. Luja asked, puzzled. What do you mean by keep yourself in check? Do you understand guys that well? Ning Shu sighed. Actually, not really. I just read some female-oriented web novels. Some things in there are explained in great detail. Tang Xiao pursed her lips. Just read some. Class monitor, if I remember correctly, you spend all your free time reading novels, right? Jiang Yao nodded and said with a mischievous smile. At the last sports meet, I accidentally saw a scene. A very, very steamy one. Lin Qianqian blushed. I've seen those too, Ning Shu said helplessly. How can you all sigh? It's only occasionally, though. I read for the exciting plot, the beautiful writing, and the passionate romance. It's not like I go looking for that sort of content. Jiang Yao drawled. Who can say for sure? Ning Shu was annoyed and wanted to argue. Hey, you guys, enough. Lu Zhi felt if he didn't stop them. The topic would stray too far. Let's put aside matters of literary appreciation for now. How about we talk about how you four are going to resolve this misunderstanding about me today? Resolve it? How else could we resolve it? Ning Shu said, sounding conflicted. Lu Zhi, can't we just apologize to you? Jiang Yao gently twisted her body, came over to rub Lu Zhi's arm. Yeah, deskmate, we're just naive girls led astray by boring books. You don't understand anything. Would you really have the heart to punish us? Tang Xiao looked utterly unashamed. Even if we were in the wrong, you're a guy, so you should be more magnanimous, right? Lin Qianqian murmured softly. In PE class, you're always so considerate toward us girls. Lu Zhi clutched his chest, feigning agony. Back then, I wasn't being wronged, but now I'm being framed. Do you have any idea as a guy how much psychological trauma I'm suffering right now? Dang xia Google Pautet, she said in its sundera tone. Is punishing us cute girls the only way to heal your wounded heart? Lu Zhi nodded firmly. Exactly. With that at that moment, Ning Shu stood up. She patted her chest very responsibly. As the class monitor, I'm the mastermind behind this whole thing. They're most accessories. Logically, I should bear all the responsibility. If you absolutely must punish someone, then just punish me alone. Seeing Ning Shu take on such responsibility, the other three girls cast looks of admiration and gratitude at her. But Ning Shu thought clearly. What could Lu Zhi punish at this moment? Nothing more than doing more work, or taking a bit more care of her companions. Besides, among the girls, she was the only one in the best physical condition. Even without punishment, she would have to work. She might as well take the initiative and shoulder the responsibility to accumulate some goodwill. Lu Zhi gave a thumbs up in approval. As expected of the class monitor, so responsible. Ning Shu made a cool cupped fist salute. I'm flattered. Lu Zhi nodded. I was planning to punish all four of you. But since the monitor took it upon herself, I'll just punish the monitor alone. Ning Shu said solemnly. Go ahead. What's the punishment? What could it be? Lu Zhi thought for a moment. What's the most urgent task at hand? Cooking, building a shelter. Both seem urgent, but it wasn't the hardest thing to do. The hardest thing was only that one thing. Lu Zhi nodded. Okay, then let the class monitor find the seeds for everyone. No problem. Ning Shu agreed nonchalantly, but immediately felt something was off. What seeds? Lu Zhi explained. Before boarding the plane, everyone might have eaten some fruit. If you ate something like watermelon or cantaloupe, you might have accidentally swallowed seeds, bringing them along to the island. Ning Shu suddenly remembered the scene of Lu Zhi searching for seeds in Tang Xiao's poop. Her face turned pale instantly. You're not telling me to search in the poop, are you? Lu Zhi gave a thumbs up and praised with a click of his tongue. See, that's why you're the class monitor. One hint and you get it. Ning Shu was dumbfounded. At that moment, a breeze swept by, and the hair on her forehead was an utter mess. She looked at her own slender, fair, boneless jade-like hands. With these hands, she could even be a hand model. Was she supposed to go looking for that kind of thing? Is this what a beautiful young girl like me should have to endure? Ning Shu couldn't help but dry heave. Lu Zhi, maybe before we even manage to grow any fruit, the rescue team will arrive. Then there's no need to waste energy doing this kind of thing. Lu Zhi said bluntly. It would be best if the rescue team comes. But what if they don't? Ning Shu said hesitantly. Isn't there the black box? Lu Zhi said, but is the black box with us? After we fell from the plane, do we know how far the plane continued to slide? Even if by some stretch, the black box were right next to us, would it definitely be found? Ning Shu was stunned. She understood. What Lu Zhi said was not intentionally meant to scare her. In fact, the probability of finding the black box in the sea is too low. Hearing this, Tang Xiao began to cry sadly. Ah, my parents and Lu Xiaozhe must think I'm dead. Lu Zhi frowned. What the hell is Lu Xiaozhe? Might be shown Frize. Lu Zhi said angrily, Tang Xiao. Your dog's name is too much. It's just a coincidence. Jiang Yao sighed resentfully. Now, no one will stop my parents. they can safely have a second child. Lu Zhi said from the bottom of his heart. I say, everyone, we don't need to be blindly optimistic, but there's no need to be so pessimistic either. After all, we're all still alive. As long as we're alive, there's hope. His voice wasn't loud, but it gave people an incredibly reassuring feeling. Ning Shu nodded with understanding. Then she sniffled. Classmates, don't worry, I'll take care of that matter. But Lu Zhi, she looked up and asked a very realistic question. You don't mean I have to sift through? You're that, do you? Lu Zhi shook his head. Sorry, I haven't eaten any fruits with easily carried seeds in the past week. If you're hoping to find any in my feces, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. Ning Shu cried out in exasperation. Who's disappointed? I am incredibly relieved. Okay. Suddenly, she thought of something. Since Lu Zhi hasn't eaten any fruits with easily carried seeds in the past week, if the other companions also haven't eaten any such fruits, then maybe we don't have to go through with this? By the way, what fruits have you three eaten? Lin Qianqian, Zhang Yao, and Tang Xiaohua all shook their heads like rattling drums. We haven't eaten any. Lu Zhi was speechless. It's understandable that Zhang Yao and Qianqian said they haven't eaten any. But Tang Xiaohua, you're wrong about that. Dan xia Google Pautet. I don't have any either. Lu Zhi took out the small plastic bag containing strawberry seeds. Then tell me, what is this? Tang Xiaohua pretended to be clueless. What? How would I know what it is? Who knows where you got it from? Don't you know? All these strawberry seeds were found in your poop. No way. You must have found them somewhere else. And deliberately said they were mine. I'm a fairy. How could a fairy poop anywhere like Lu Xiaozhi does? Tang Xiaohua, forget about being a fairy. Can't you just be a decent human being? No way, that's too embarrassing. Lu Zhi sighed. It seemed everyone had already accepted that after 4 months. They'd be gnawing on tree bark for carbohydrates. Just then, Lin Qianqian spoke up. I think Lu Zhi has a point. On a deserted island, having fruit or not makes a world of difference. And I think planting and watering can bring anticipation and hope to life. Lu Zhi said approvingly, see, the study committee member has insight after all. Look at you guys that. Classmate Lin Qianqian, what did you eat before boarding the plane? I ate pineapple, peach, and drank passion fruit tea. The seeds of passion fruit might be preserved. Lu Zhi nodded happily. With strawberries, we have 2 kinds of plantable seeds. Zhang Yao, what about you? I ate. Zhang Yao blushed and hesitated for a long time. Finally, she said, star fruit, sweet orange, watermelon. Do they count? Of course they count. Watermelon seeds are very likely to be preserved. 3 kinds, class monitor. What about you? Looks like you can't escape. Ning su si kit. Fine, iate bananas. Cherry tomatoes, pineapple, and muskmelons. Muskmelons. Did you shake out the seeds? Ning Shu shook her head. Actually, I really like eating the muskmelon seed pulp. So well, Sai? Why Sai? That's a good thing. Class monitor, are you ready for what's coming? Ning Shu looked at her own delicate hands and shuddered. This meant she had to search through all the surviving girls' poop for seeds. She looked up at the sky. Almost crying, she said, Uncles of the rescue team, when will you come save me? Seeing the class monitor like this, Lin Qianqian sighed. Otherwise, don't make it hard for the class monitor alone. We'll all accept the punishment. Each of us can find our own. Zhang Yao nodded. I agree. Having someone else find yours just feels wrong thinking about it. I'd rather find my own too. Lu Zhi nodded. Okay, but we have to screen carefully. Can't miss a single seed. Tang Xiaohua spread her hands. Since you've already searched mine, then I don't have to search anymore, right? Lu Zhi wagged his finger. No, we need to collect as many seeds as possible. Don't worry, my stomach is completely empty. She had barely said that much when Tang Xiaohua's stomach let out a gurgle. Then, that overwhelming feeling came back. Tang Xiaohua's face turned red. She groaned inwardly. Damn those wild persimmons. They've done me in. Ningxia asked curiously, Guia, are you about to go poop again? Tang Xiaohua was miserable. She had just said she was empty, and now the urge hit. What a slap in the face. Can't admit it. No way I'm admitting it. At least hold on a while. Wait until Lu Zhi is gone.